Hello and welcome to Titanium Talar's Tarot. And today I'll be doing a collective energy pull for the coming week. Alright, so this is going to be for anyone who watches this at any time, right? That's what timeless means. So whenever you watch this is whenever it applies, okay? And so my intention is that. Now the way I work, and this might not be always the case, but I first pull cards from the animal animal spirit deck. Okay. Then I pull medicine cards. Okay. And finally I pull cards from the spirit animal deck. Spirit animal oracle deck. Okay? So that is how I work for these pulls. My Saturday pulls are generally purely animal based. What I mean to say, animal cards. Okay? And so, with that being said, my peeps, let's get into your cards, okay? So, first, I'll pull medicine cards. Okay? So, let me connect and calm down. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective for the coming week, please come forward and share what energy they will be working with next week. Okay. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share what type of energy they will be working with next week. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and, and share the type of energy they will be experiencing. Okay. First card out. Blank card. So I guess you can, depending on the surrounding cards, this will change, basically. Okay. Now, for the animal spirit deck. Animal spirit deck. Yup. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective for the coming week, please come forward and share what type of energy they will be working with. Okay, please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share what type of energy they will be working with. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share what type of energy they will be working with next week. Okay, that one wanted to come out. And that is shark. Dun, 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 dun. Now we shall see. Actually, I put this here because it came first for the other one. No. For the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good. Excuse me. It's like a brick. It's like they're stuck together like a birds of a feather. Right. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective. Please come forward and share what they will be working with next week. Yeah. Okay. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share the message they need to hear for the coming week. Yep. And the message is mouse spirit. Aww. Interesting. You got the big old shark was like on a rampage wanting to devour something that is looking at the sweet tiny little mouse. I'm saying sweet, right? Because it's like a mouse baby, at least in this picture, and it's on like petals of flower, so it looks sweet. But in reality, mice are not sweet. They are rodents and they eat through shit and they are bad for the house and so on and so forth. But I must say that every single one, like the shark and the mouse, are important parts of the not diaspora, but of the ecosystem they live in, right? Yes, all of them. Everything they do is important to the whole. You have to start seeing things from that perspective. What is it that like these animals bring to the table, right? So like if we think in that sense, I think of shark. He protects it protects its territory. It swims in schools. It's a fish, you know. It has a killer bite, like literally. And if you know how to deal with them, you can be their best of friends. But don't cross the line, don't get a hair out of place, okay? Because they will not. They will bite your head off and you know it. Now, in the case of the mouse, the small rodent, okay, so what it does for its ecosystem, I'm not quite sure, but it like, I'm sure it eats insects, and it also has other things that it does. I'm probably sure that its feces does something, right? Something nutritional for the rest of nature. As in, every animal's dung or feces can be someone else's treasure. For example, a dung beetle loves shit. Loves shit. Literally loves shit. Rolls a pile of a ball of shit around everywhere. Literally, that's what it does. And to what I can remember, it like pushes the the ball of dung with its hind quarters, with hind legs, right? So I mean, now those legs be fierce. I'm just saying, think before making a final decision about anything, okay? Just look at how that thing benefits you. For example, bees. We Most people hate bees. Why? I don't know. But why? Because I mean, they're very noisy. That was not a very lovely face. I'm sorry. My teeth are chattering. And so on. You know, that's the negative side. They can be noisy. And I mean, when they are fearful, they bite, they sting. That's it. They sting, right? But what do they give us in return? What else do they give us in reality? They give us honey. They also give us, they also pollinate flowers. So the beautiful sights, the beautiful smells, all thanks to bees. Without bees, our trees would not get pollinated. We would not have fruit. Without bees, we would not have vegetables, possibly. Without bees, we would not have honey. Without bees, I mean, a lot of stuff would fall. Now, I can't tell you all of them. I'm not a specialist in the matter, but I'm just saying if we lost bees, that would be part practically catastrophic for us. Okay. And I'm sure there are 100 other suggestions like that. Every single piece in the puzzle of any ecosystem is crucial to that ecosystem, right? Right. I mean, think of plants. Okay, plants, you don't think that plants do much, but in reality, plants breathe in CO2 and breathe out oxygen. Okay, so they breathe in all the CO2 during the day and they breathe out oxygen during the night. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on that, but what I know is that what happens is that trees take in CO2, they keep the C from that like elemental equation. They keep the C from the CO2, which is carbon, oxygen. And C is carbon and O is oxygen. So the CO2 means that there's one molecule of carbon for every 2 molecules of oxygen. That is how I think it's carbon monoxide is made, right? The same principle applies to water, H2O. One molecule of hydrogen and 2 molecules of oxygen. That makes water. So you need stuff. H2O, yeah. CO2, H2O, CO2, H. Okay, so excuse me. Clarification. Two molecules of hydrogen for 1 molecule of oxygen makes H2O, makes water, right? Yeah. So everything on this planet is connected. Okay, even if you watch like even if you're watching like this Animal Planet show or this animal show and you see this animal running and eating this other little animal who's defenseless and all those things. Well, just think of it like this. Okay, that little animal had to die for something to stay in balance. Now, I'm not saying that it's not fair. It is fair. I'm not saying that it's fair. It's not. But life ain't fair. Okay. I know this went downhill quite quickly. I'm sorry. So just, I mean, it's the order of nature, or the nature of order. Now, we as human beings have evolved to a point where we don't necessarily need to follow nature's rules anymore. We can follow rules of conduct which are better suited for most of us, right? Which are more friendly, which are more uh, honorable, and such, right? So you can say that we have transcended the natural order of things. Though let's not forget that when we go into nature, that we are going to play by its rules, not have it play by our rules. You don't go to someone else's house and like demand that they work the way you do for the hour that you stay there. Nay, you modify yourself to their method of working, right? Same thing goes for when you go to a different country. You modify the way you act and the way you interact with people to that country's way of being. It only makes sense, right? Now, what I think what the middle card is just okay. So we have the shark looking at the mouse, and he's like, "Ooh, tasty." But just know that every single piece in the puzzle of life on this earth is here for a reason. And even if that reason might just be that there's someone else's breakfast, which sucks, right? It all comes down to mm, someone else's breakfast. It's not fair, true, but don't forget that something else is its breakfast. And like, you don't see us going berserk on what it is eating just because the bigger guy eats the smaller guy does not mean that the smaller guy eats the relatively smaller guy to it, right? I mean, what eats plankton? I don't know exactly. I told her. Oh, whales. Whales are the biggest, one of the biggest fish in the world, right? They're big, but no one, I can't generalize to that extent, but I mean, you wouldn't be so naysaying for all the phytoplankton or the plankton. Now, the idea that came to mind was that plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants, the evil, conniving plankton, you know. Uh, in any case, you don't think that the big ass whale that eats all those plankton, all that phytoplankton, whatever, I can't remember the exact name, but that all those plankton are so, aw, that's shameful. They're that whale's dinner. So, just like, would you be sorry for all those molecules of air that you breathe in and breathe out, or all that molecule of air that is bombarded with CO2 every time you drive your car? Nay, because you just do that. So why don't you start seeing? So this is what it is. Laws of nature. This big shark as just following the laws of nature. And think about us. I mean, the amount of animals we kill is a lot. I mean, we're no saints. Just saying. Okay? Even those who are like vegetarian. Dude, you eat plants. Those things are living beings. Okay? Just because you're not killing an animal does not mean that you're not eating something alive. Just saying. Take things as they resonate. Okay? So basically, law of nature or nature of nature for that same thing. Okay? Just think about that. All right? So keep that in mind for next week. Okay? The laws of nature. And how I also mentioned how we as human beings transcended the laws of nature, as in we can go one step ahead and think, how can we make this better? How can we make this more fair? And if you keep that in mind with every choice that you make next week, I'm pretty sure that you'll be a step ahead of the game. So, that is all that I have for you guys, my collective. I hope you enjoyed this. So like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on the notification bell to be notified when I post new stuff. And please comment, because I love comments. I read them all. I might not answer them all, but I absolutely read them all. Okay? And with that being said, my collective, my gorgeous collective, I wish you guys all a very good week, and I will see you next time, okay? Bye.